College athletes are getting paid just like the pros, and I'm gonna show you how in 60 seconds. So here we have John, and John is one of the top high school athletes, and he's trying to figure out which college he wants to go to, and everybody's offering him a free ride. So he knows he's getting a scholarship, but he hear about this deal, NIL, and John is thinking, I want to make some money for myself, and that's when this college comes in and says, hey John, well, I know you want to market yourself with the NIL, and we're gonna allow that, but not only that, if you come to our school, believe it or not, one of our boosters have a Lamborghini dealership. And not only that, the president of Pineapple, he's an alumni. He actually graduated from our school. And we also have some of the best products for athletes to get bigger, faster, stronger. If you come here, I'm not saying we're gonna pay you, but we can rub a couple shoulders and elbows and possibly get you some brand deals with these companies. So John is thinking, okay, maybe you're not paying me, but you're helping me get with some of the top companies. Everybody's happy. The school is happy because they're getting more recognition and they're getting to compete for some of the top athletes. But John is happy because not only is he getting a free ride and scholarship, he's also getting to use his name, his image, his likeness, his talent to make money for him without being penalized. And it's crazy, for centuries, college athletes could not make money, but now since this bill has been passed, they can. This was a recommendation from a comment. If you like this type of information, comment below what you want to see next, and S&P 500 works in 60 seconds. So here we have John, and John got a little money, and now he's trying to think about where can I go to invest it, and he's like, man, I'll just put it all on Pineapple. But then he's thinking, if something happens to Pineapple, I'm gonna lose all of my money, and that's when someone comes in and say, hey John, have you ever heard of this thing called the S&P 500? He's like, no, what is that? Well, John, the S&P 500 is a bucket of the top 500 companies in the world. Instead of putting all your money in Pineapple, you could put it here. Because what happens is now you have a piece of ownership of the best 500 companies. And what happens is if a company starts doing bad throughout the year, we're going to kick them out the bucket, and then we're going to add more companies who are doing better. So now you can invest here because it's much safer. You get a part of the top 500 companies, and it is a safe way to grow your wealth over time. And so if you're somebody who wants more information, do yourself a favor, comment 500 below, and we're gonna show you an easy way that you can get started.
What's this thing about tax brackets? How do they work?
So the way that tax brackets work, the way the government sees it is the more money you make, the more you should pay in taxes. The less money you make, the less you should pay in taxes. So these are just generic numbers. The first tax bracket is like 10%. If you make less than 15,000, 20,000, you're in that tax bracket. As soon as you start making 20, 25,000, the next bracket, which is 12%, so forth and so on. So it was created to try to make the people who make the most money pay the most taxes, and people who make the least amount of money pay less. The beautiful thing about the government and the tax code is their tax breaks. So the reason why it doesn't work is because the wealthy people, instead of paying more taxes, they find ways to find tax breaks. So even though they may make billions of dollars a year, if you look at their income, it looks like $50,000. So people like Bezos, Trump, all those guys, you ever wonder why they don't take salaries from their companies? That's why. Is if they're taking salaries, they have to pay taxes. But if they leave the money in the company may have to pay some taxes, but they get more breaks. So yes, tax brackets is a good idea because it's supposed to make the people who make more pay more, but there's ways around it. So it pretty much doesn't work. What happens is the middle class people they're the ones who stuck. A lot of times they're not the ones who necessarily have businesses or all the other stuff, so they don't take advantage of the breaks.
Yep.
And a lot of times we don't talk about it in school, so we're not informed about it. But usually the lower class, it works for them, they don't pay the taxes. Upper class, they got money, they got businesses, they find them the breaks and the write-offs. It's the middle class who are the ones who are not necessarily thinking about it, and they're the ones who actually pay.
You can get rich using your tax refund in 60 seconds. So here we have John, and he just got $5,000 from the IRS, and like everybody else, he's thinking about blowing it. He wants a new car, he's thinking about doing some sports betting, maybe buy a new house, and before he does that, an insurance company says, hey John, before you blow all your money, check this out. How about this? You give us that $5,000 every single year. And what we can do is we can put in the whole life insurance policy and you can still access 4,000 of it. So if you want to buy the car, if you want to buy the house, you still can use the money for that. But not only that, John, this is a life insurance policy. So you're going to get $1 million in insurance. God forbid something happens to you. Your family's going to be $1 million richer. But not only that, all of this money that you've been saving here, this $5,000 every year, it continues to compound. So over 30 years, you would have put in $150,000, but it's actually being reinvested. So now you have access to about $400,000 tax-free that's been growing this whole time. And the beautiful thing about this is you can always use this money to reinvest in cars, houses, clothes. This is what infinite banking is. It's just you saving your money somewhere different so it grows more tax-free, and it still allows you to blow some of the money throughout the year if you wanted to. Now, this is what we help families with in the insurance industry. If you're somebody who wants more information on how to do this with your tax refund, comment refund below, and I'd love to show you.